had a conversation today with someone, a gentleman from Unongoma, and we were just talking. I was talking about, I've been to Vryheid, Abaqulusi, I've been to Ngutu, Msinga, Ulundi, deep into Zululand, and we were just talking about the proximity and the areas, and then I mentioned I know the history of the Abaqulusi and the royal house and the connection to Shaka's aunt, and then he mentioned Nongoma, and then I said the Mandlakazi, and he's like, yeah, the Mandlakazi, that's our home, that's our homeland. And I talked about how I read about Uzibebu and the history behind when King Cetshwayo was captured, and like it's actually so reaffirming, like life affirming, that I've read things in books by myself. I've spent time reading through a book and learning about the history of Zululand, and to speak to somebody who comes from there, and for him to look at me and go, how do you know that? And then also number two, for me to go in my mind, to have that like sense of confirmation that what I read in the book and what this person's life is like literally exactly the same. It's actually crazy. So I just want to document that the positive experience I've had today, this almost a testimony, of the value of reading the books that have been written about South African history, and the time that I have taken on purpose to sit down assiduously, to understand and put the puzzle pieces together to make sense of our history, because it's vast and it's complicated. It's not as simple as reading it in a pamphlet to describe South African history. Absolutely not. You cannot put South African history into a pamphlet or a newspaper article and say this is South African history. You are absolutely incorrect. You need to take the time to page through every single book and listen to the story and feel and actually travel. You learn a lot about history by traveling to these places where people lived and had their homelands, for you to see the landscape that they saw, that was written about. To make that connection is actually something very valuable, and I'm only starting to appreciate it now. So yeah, that's the vlog for today. Stay tuned for our next episode.